Do you think we're safe?
I don't know, man. After what they did to Lick Sang.
Yeah, they were taken out in a lawsuit.
And that special import we got? How the hell did Sony get a human head past customs?
And we're next. I told you that talking about ISOs was just too much.
We can't stop now, though, Pox. We gotta keep going. We can't let Sony silence the world of homebrew.
Sony can silence you with your silent death.
What?
This is Pox, and this is Ragabull. Welcome to PSP Hacking 101, episode 20. Honorable Ninja Masters. These tapes were discovered on the bodies of Pox and Ragabull. I shall examine them myself to determine if they contain useful information that may lead us to our next objectives. Afterwards, I shall return them to you with honor.
This is Pox, and I'm going to show you how to run Homebrew on a T82 motherboard PSP. The first thing you're going to need to do is be running 2.71. So if you don't have that on your PSP, you need to upgrade to it. If you're above that, you're out of luck. You're going to have to wait until they make a downgrade method. Now that you've got a 2.71, you need to install the HenC Homebrew enabler. And this will allow you to launch Homebrew right from the PBX like a 1.5 PSP. It works through the TIFF exploit, so there's a lot of files. Just download it and extract it to the root of your memory stick. You run the TIFF exploit like you do eLoader. Everything's done pretty much the same as the eLoader. Go over to the images, go to the HenC directory, and it'll do some flashing. If you see red, that's bad. It means it doesn't work, and you have to try again. You have to reboot your PSP and try again. If you see green, that means go. Then that means you're good to go. The PSP will reboot automatically, and you can start running Homebrew just like you would on a 1.5 PSP. The Homebrew compatibility is pretty limited for this right now, so you want to make sure and check our forums in the show notes for the different types of Homebrew that run on this exploit. There's a few test applications that you can run to test this out. There's a little cube thingy, and there's a very good version of SNES 9X that runs on this. And the really neat thing is this resides in memory even when you go into sleep mode. So after it's been executed once, it stays in memory. So as long as you don't totally lose power to the PSP by like taking out the battery or doing a hard reset, you can go into sleep mode and come back out of it all you want, run programs, come out, and it'll still be loaded. So you only have to fiddle with running that TIFF exploit whenever you have a hard reset or power loss. So for you T82 people, have fun with the HenC loader, and keep an eye out for updates to that and new Homebrew that's being made for it. Pox here, and now for the real fun. For all you people that have the golden firmware of 1.5, there's a new firmware in town that's giving it a run for its money. I'll call it the silver firmware for now, until all the kinks get worked out. But there's a special edition custom firmware of 2.71, which is a hacked version of it, which gives you the best of 1.5 and 2.71. And a few extra things sprinkled in, like being able to load ISOs and CSOs right from the XMB. Once you have this installed, there's a recovery mode where you can hit the right trigger and boot up and change all sorts of settings inside of it. But let's get to the install process. First of all, you're going to need to be at 1.5. So watch episode 19 if you need to downgrade to 1.5. You T82 people, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer until there's a method for doing that. Either that or, sell your PSP and buy an older one. Make sure you get a clean formatted memory stick before doing this process here. Kick it into USB mode. Then we go to the PC side of things. We're going to go ahead and use this easy install method. This easy install method is very easy. You just go ahead and plug in your PSP to the USB and follow the instructions given. 2.71 SE-B with DevHook. for 2.71. Then you just go into your games and you launch the upgrade to the custom 2.71 firmware, and it'll write to your PSP and have it all installed for you. It's very simple. Oh yeah, when you're doing this, it recommends that you have at least 75% battery usage. I recommend just plugging it in just to be safe, because it is going to flash to your firmware, and anytime there could be possibly a power outage, it would brick your PSP. Now, when installing your Homebrew, by default it makes a different games folder for your old Homebrew, which is the game 150 directory, and that's where you want to put your old K-exploited Homebrew into that. And the game folder will be where you put your Homebrew that's made for 2.71. So it's pretty neat. It'll use both exploits with this one firmware. So you can have access to all the Homebrew that's being made right now. Not just the stuff that's for 1.5 or the stuff that's for 2.71. With this firmware you can run both. And for your ISOs and CSOs, on the root of the memory stick there's an ISO folder. Just throw them in there. You also had the option to choose DevHook for either 1.5 or the DevHook that's made for 2.71. We installed the one that was for 2.71. So if you're having issues with certain ISOs, or if you want to try and run DACs, you'll want to use the DevHook for that. Hold the right trigger when powering on to get into the recovery menu. Here you can toggle the USB connection, you can go into the configuration, you can tell it to skip the little Sony logo, which makes things go faster, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and enable that. Hide corrupt icons, sure, let's enable that. We'll go ahead and leave the default for the 2.71 for the games folder, and then you can set up an e-boot to run automatically. We won't bother with that. Advanced, and we don't want to mess with this stuff either. Check on the forums, ask people. I'm sure they'll have more answers than myself. There is an update for this firmware that you can install that will make it so you don't have to have a UMD in the drive, but your results may vary. Loco Roco ISO running on PSP 2.71 without the help of DevHook. So have fun with your new 2.71 PSP with the custom firmware, where you're able to run all the cool programs and stuff. Alright, so the Ninja, after reviewing our tapes, decided that he'd let us live. Well, you know, Ragable's, yeah, he'll be in the next episode, I'm sure, no problem.
His neck will grow back.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed today's show, getting the old Homebrew on your T82 motherboards straight from the XMB, the custom firmware on your 2.71, custom firmware for your 1.5s. The Ninja, I can't pull him away. Just what are you playing?
Shinobi.
Anyways, log on to our website, psphacking101.com. Get on the forums if you have any questions about what kind of compatibility there is with the new HEN-C loader, or the custom firmware, all the different mods that are available for it. There's tons of things that we didn't show you that you can do with it. Subscribe to our feed if you want to get this show automatically delivered to you. The new Xbox 360 dashboard lets you play our high-definition videos just straight off of a USB stick, or if you burn them to a CD or a DVD or through the network, you can stream from your PC. If you donate money to help us produce the show, we'll send you out free DVDs. You can get the link to that on our website. Have fun, and just, watch out for the ninjas.
This has been a Two Smart Guys production.